At this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
This is Iraq, and you're probably remembering the images of war and Saddam Hussein's downfall. But with that downfall, the image of Iraq remained crumbled ever since. So I've got this rental car to take me around the country to learn what's on the mind of people that we meet. So buckle up for an adventure. I'm here to see if Iraq is really that bad. But how do you get to Iraq? We flew from the Netherlands to Istanbul in Turkey, and from there we took another flight to Erbil in the north of Iraq. But before arriving, the challenges already started.
The security problem in the area is still continued.
In the middle of the night, the flight was cancelled because of security challenges due to a drone strike at the airport of Erbil, where we were supposed to be landed. So, this is where I started to reconsider if this trip was a good idea. But the next morning, the flight went again anyway, landing at Erbil without any issue. As a filmmaker, I'm always interested in new places and cultures, especially places that are considered obscure. When we can demystify a place, we can understand it better. Before, we made another episode with Matador Network with the same goal in Iran. This time, I will be traveling around Iraq, together with my friends Jerry and Majed. We're in luck. Majed is Iraqi, so he speaks the language. He used to live in Baghdad, but during the war in Iraq, he fled to build up a new life in the Netherlands. It's his first time back in 17 years. Our trip starts in Kurdistan, an autonomous region in the north of Iraq where the Kurdish people live. The majority of this part of the country has remained untouched by the war. Unlike Baghdad and the rest of Iraq, where we will go later in this episode. Majid has a friend in Erbil, Mohammed. They know each other from their time in the Netherlands. He both lived in the UK and the Netherlands, but Mohammed moved back to Iraq and now is living his life in Erbil. I want to learn more about the growth of Erbil and about its safety.
This place wasn't known at all when I left Iraq. Believe me, I came here 15 years ago. There were only few shops, few restaurants. Now the city is developing a lot, buildings everywhere. They're applying rules. People, Kurdish people, Arabic people from abroad coming back to the country. It's really safe. For me, it's safer than the UK.
We would find out whether it would also feel safe for us. What we did immediately discover is how beautiful it is over here. With this low-hanging sun, the mountains almost look golden. It's magnificent. And the trees dotting these hills. This is freedom. If you ask people what comes to mind when they think about Iraq, they might say it's a desert. Kurdistan is actually a mountainous region with winding roads, great views and surprisingly, waterfalls. At the waterfall, a group of local men asks if we can take a picture. Of course we can. The locals don't seem concerned about safety. But then we get another message about a nearby drone strike. It's both the Turkish and Iranians who do very targeted strikes. If you do not follow the news, chances are that you do not notice a thing. Kurdistan is part of a larger conflict in the region. The Kurdish people live in Syria, Iran, Turkey, Armenia and here in Iraq. They want their own state and that brings tension to the region. In Iraq, Kurdistan is the most advanced Kurdish part, as they have autonomy here. The other countries surrounding Iraq want to prevent this from happening in their countries. So Jerry is trying to film us, trying to get a nice shot. But if you turn to your right, Jerry, look at this. Hello, everybody. Hello, how are you? Nice. Akre is a town of over 2,500 years old and was built on the side of a mountain slope. It's an historic site nestled in between the mountains. This makes for breathtaking views over town. Akre is part of Kurdistan, but that is disputed. The Iraqi government claims it is part of their territory. Throughout history, the Kurdish often had to defend their territory. And here in Akre, I understand why they have the saying, "No friends but the mountains." Why are the mountains special for the Kurdish people?
They are inseparable mountains and Kurdish people, I think.
It helped them to be independent as well, right?
Yeah,
they used it to defend their villages.
Exactly.
They often had to defend themselves from up here. And there's testimonies to the fighters who helped keep Akre part of Kurdistan. So what is this ancient writing?
This is Yusuf.
Just Yusuf.
Yusuf, yeah.
Yusuf was here. Okay. Maybe he's down there now in the village. We did not see Yusuf. However, we were once again treated with spectacular views. Along the roadside, you can spot a lot of tanks, which serve as a monument, either used in the fight in Kurdistan or having been captured from the enemy in fights. One thing is certain, if you work in a tank, you have to be very flexible. I think I prefer sitting in a restaurant instead of a tank. Typical Kurdish food is often based on flatbreads. Yes, the one I'm tearing apart here. Most dishes are served with meat. Lamb and chicken have been staple meats here for centuries. You will get a lot of tomatoes, aubergine and cucumber, and a lot of rice. Also, there's a lot of exotic fruit coming in from the region. Can you ask him how much it is? Are you serious? So much? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Have a nice day. In some places, it's hard if you want to pay when you're a foreigner. Kurdish are very hospitable to visitors. Wow. So friendly. We're going to find a little lake in the mountains, which apparently has a great view. Yeah. So somewhere here there is a road going to the left. We're gonna have to spot it. I think it's over there. You see the truck? The hill is not steep at all, but it barely has any traction here. Renting a car in Kurdistan is fairly straightforward. You can reserve it online in advance and pick it up from the airport. Yeah. Go, 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 go. Let's try it again. Yeah. Amazing view, eh? The lake is surrounded by beautiful hills. It's breathtaking, seeing snowy peaks in the distance. I never would have expected these landscapes, and for the lake itself, well, It's a dry season, so the water's a bit low. Plus, it's full of plastic.
Yeah, it's probably not one of their top priorities to clean up.
This part of Kurdistan, near the Iranian border, is beautiful, with winding roads and snowy mountains. Through this scenery, we make our way to Shaqlawa. To get around, we are using old-fashioned maps, and we ask people where to go to. It's old school. Finding a decent coffee is quite a challenge. In many cases, you will only find instant coffee. But today, I just want the real deal. In my quest to find good coffee, we stumble upon a coffee machine in a restaurant.
Okay.
But the only person who knows how it works is still asleep. The owner decides to wake him up. He also deserves a coffee.
There's a little chipmunk there. We are at the bottom of a cemetery and a cave, which are called Raban Boya and Rahman. Sorry for butchering the names. This is a spiritual place for both Muslims and Christians. And there's an ancient belief that if women rub their bellies against the mountain, it would increase their fertility.
I don't know what would happen if I rub my belly here, but we're going to take a look anyway. The intense climb will at least help to reduce my belly.
Lesson 1 for Kurdistan: bring hiking shoes.
While making our way up, I start wondering about Majed's past. How is it for him to return to Iraq after all these years? I can't imagine how it is to flee and not to see your family for 17 years.
2003 started the war, and everything has changed. In terms of safety, go out, there is no place to go to. And mentally, as a teenager, was too tough for me. I lose a lot of friends and people from the neighborhood, from our own street, the same street. So that was very close and was a matter of time. So I decided to live. And I left in 2007.
From Kurdistan, we head to Baghdad. And if you do not have a visa arranged ahead, you can only cross the border between Kurdistan and the rest of Iraq by aeroplane.
Just above Baghdad.
While Iraq still has the reputation of being dangerous, the opposite seems to be true. There's also no indication in the news that there's anything to be worried about. From Baghdad, we rent another car to visit the remains of Babylon.
We are on the road again from Baghdad to Hillah at night, so it's a bit challenging because some people are not putting their lights on. But one thing we immediately notice is the difference in how drivers drive here, because they feel way more aggressive, so you always have to keep your eyes open.
After a long night, we finally arrive to our hotel. Very tired, but looking forward to my favorite plan, visiting Babylon. Amidst the fertile lands of Mesopotamia, the Babylonians rose as a beacon of knowledge and innovation. From the 18th to the 6th century before Christ, they flourished in what is now modern-day Iraq. Their legacy is marked by pioneering advancements in mathematics and astronomy. They crafted a numerical system based on the number 60, laying the foundation for modern timekeeping and geometry. Astronomy and architecture intertwined in their culture. as they built majestic structures like the Tower of Babel and the Ishtar Gate. But perhaps their most enduring legacy lies in their mastery of irrigation and agriculture. Through indigenous systems of canals, dikes, and reservoirs, they tamed the mighty rivers Tigris and Euphrates, nurturing crops like barley, wheat, dates, and vegetables. This agricultural abundance fueled urban life and economic prosperity, sustaining the vibrant tapestry of Babylonian civilization. Their innovations, carved in stone and woven into the fabric of time, continue to echo through the corridors of history, a testament to their ingenuity.
If you consider that it's been well over 3,000 years since this civilization was at its peak, it's very impressive to see what they had built in that time, and considering that there were over 200,000 inhabitants over here.
Ancient Babylon might have been very impressive. Iraq is best known for its last fallen leader, Saddam Hussein. A palace was under construction so that he could oversee Babylon. It was never finished, but when it was being built, he came by to check upon the progress.
So the myth is that Saddam was here once. Can he confirm that? Was he here?
مرة شاف الشغل ما عجب، نقل الكادر العسكري كله، الهندسي كله نقل. ثانية لا عجب، طانة كرامية واختار هيجي وقاعد هنا. بس هاي حمايات كلها جيوش جت يعني.
It was hot, sweltering, and since Saddam's pool was empty, we just turned up our car's air conditioning. Time to explore Baghdad, the last activity on our trip.
From Holland. Holland.
This is the Heritage Museum, which shows how people used to live and is an attraction for many young people as well. I'm curious to speak to them and what they think about their lives in Baghdad.
قبل خلينا نقول قبل فترة يعني خلينا نقول قبل فترة 10 سنين كانوا يعتقدون بغداد عراق حروب أو شيء، بس بتطور التكنولوجيا لا بدأوا يجون زوار سائحين يعني يشوفون العراق حضارة التطور البيئي والبغدادي المزج بين الاثنين، فيعني بدأ يفتح على العالم.
The center of Baghdad has a relaxed vibe with friendly people who want to chat.
I love Baghdad. I love the street, the shops.
This is Baghdad's famous literature street called Mutanabi. Young students, like Majed, would go here for a read and a cup of tea. But during the regime, many books were forbidden. I got to talk to one of Iraq's first female journalists who was willing to talk about the old days.
والله هي تغييرات وايد صارت على مستوى big changes على مستوى الحياة العامة وعلى مستوى الإعلام أيضا. أو انفتاح صار انفتاح، الناس بدأت يعني تطلع أكثر، تشوف أكثر، تتعلم أكثر، صار حتى بالقراءات يعني كانت قبل هواية كتب ممنوعة ما تجينا فهسه لا موقف ممنوع، بس كل شيء متاح.
Do you like this change?
شو؟ طبعا هو الانفتاح يعني ساهم بتغيير الناس كثير يعني نحو الأحسن طبعا، لأنه الثقافات بدأت الناس تطلع على ثقافات أخرى، بدأت يعني شو خاصة مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي. احنا ما كان عندنا لا كان عندنا انترنت ولا كان قنوات اثنين فقط في التلفزيون، وعندنا قناة عامة وعندنا قناة ثانية، وهاي القنوات محصورة ومحدودة أيضا، وممنوع احنا نشوف هواي اشياء ممنوعة علينا، وهواي اشياء ممنوعة نقراها يعني، حتى الكتب ممنوعة علينا هواي. طموحنا والعراق يصير.
We are ambitious.
ياخذ مكانته صحيح.
Like typical men, Majed and I only found out halfway throughout today that we are dressed like brothers from different mothers. And when we discuss our experiences here, we are also aligned. For both, it's an eye-opener. Majed found a safe and culturally interesting place where there was only war when he left. He tells me that he wants to come back more often from now on. For me, the combination of culture and nature, friendly people, and the fact that you can do a road trip here completely changes my perspective. Before this trip, I would not have known that this would be possible.
So Iraq is changing for the better. There's a fresh wind in the air and people are more positive about their future. Is Iraq a touristic destination just yet? Not really. There's not really an infrastructure, hotels, but if you are a curious traveler, you know how to get around in other places, this might be a nice adventurous challenge for you. You will be rewarded with beautiful landscapes, good food, and especially great hospitality and very nice and friendly people.
We love art and we do art. And I told you, I'm a singer. And I hope I can sing something a little bit of Iraqi. عيرتني بالشيب وهو وقار يا بليتها عيرت بما هو عار فإن تك شابت الذوائب مني فإن تك شابت الذوائب مني فالليالي تزينها الأقمار.